Is there a right way to grieve? Or anyone can grieve? It's okay. You just grieve however you want to grieve, as long as you're grieving.
Okay, there's grief and there's grieving, right? Yeah, so grieving really is an action, and you cannot decide how you will react. Yeah, for you, as you say, one person might use anger, another one might use tears. It's okay. But what is
just a little bit of introduction for yourself, kwa sababu anaikivaa kiatu ndiye anakielewa vizuri.
Ndio anaelewa vizuri. Sawa. Yes, you rightly put it. I am Camilla Edalia, a psychotherapist at Endeleo Therapy, where one of the things we actually support people to do is to grieve, because grief is something that actually is inevitable. At one point or another in your life, you will grieve, because you're gonna face something called a loss. As long as you're a human on this earth, you'll face actually multiple losses. And any kind of loss that happens, it's only normal that you will react. If you're tickled today, you will laugh.
Yeah.
If your employer shouts at you right now, you'll probably feel, shame or some form of being upset. So the same thing happens. Anytime a human faces a loss, they will grieve.
There's grief.
Yeah.
So let's begin with the basics about grief. What exactly is it?
Yes, so it's a very normal human response. And it's also complicated because you feel many kinds of feelings at a go. They can even be conflicting. One moment you feel you're at peace, the next moment you feel you have rage. One moment you feel you're okay with it, you've come to terms with something. Then other times you feel you're very, very sad, Yes, so it's just when you're having multiple feelings going on in your heart at the same time, and they're very disorganized. There's no order, Yeah, and another thing about grief, it will also influence your behavior. It can also affect your body. So at times you can, have headaches. At times you can feel you're very tired or fatigued. In behavior, you may find yourself shouting at people who have done maybe just a small thing, and they wonder, why is Anunda reacting like that? Yeah, so grief is a complete, made up of a number of emotions, very many. And later on it can influence your behavior, and even have an impact on your physical body.
Just on the flip side, I met someone the other day who said they've never grieved, they've never lost anyone like in their lives.
Oh, really? What's the age of this person?
About
they're an adult.
22.
Oh, okay.
They've not lost, they've not experienced grief or loss.
They probably have. You see now, what happens is that loss is not just death. Loss, there are many kinds of loss. There are three ways you can lose. One is when something comes to an end. The life of a person, even a relationship, even an opportunity coming to an end, that is a loss. Another thing that can qualify as a loss is when change happens. Sometimes it's a good change, sometimes it's an unwelcome change, but as long as change has happened, it's a form of a loss. Like what we're going through in the country right now, there's a lot of changes in the political arena, changes even in our schedule. Like Monday, were you here by there on Monday?
I was here.
You made it.
I did.
Yeah, so there's a lot of change and disruption to our normal programs, and also disappointments. So three things: an end to something, change in something, and disappointment. So that 22-year-old, I bet, even if they've not lost a person, they've probably lost a relationship, an opportunity. Maybe they've experienced some disappointment in one way or another with themselves, sometimes even with God.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the loss of a loved one, because many of us find ourselves in such scenarios, especially now when you're comforting somebody who's lost something or someone who's dear to them. Sometimes I find it hard to how do I react around them? What do I do? Like, do I know what you're going through? There's those who say, you don't tell someone I know what you're going through. I've gone through the same, but I've gone through the same. So like, how do you react towards somebody who's lost a loved one in terms of trying to comfort them?
In terms of trying to comfort them, usually words can be very risky. Very risky.
Play safe.
Yes. Yeah, so the most important or the best kind of support to give to someone who's grieving for any kind of loss is your presence. Yeah, be there physically. Just sit with them and invite them to direct you. Sometimes what they just need is you to sit and listen. Don't interrupt or respond. Just listen. Yeah. Sometimes someone may just need a hug. And at times, even with death, it can be very confusing. They just need you to help them with the process, because now you're told your loved one is dead. What next? You're in a state of confusion, shock. So what you can do for the person is to help them with the processes. Yeah, so physical support, your presence, and sometimes technical support.
Right.
That's the best thing you can do for them, especially at the onset when they're still processing.
Okay.
Yeah, with words, ungoja invitation.
Ngoja.
Unless they ask you, what would you do if you were in my shoes? Hapo sasa ndo unaweza anza kusema.
I've been
Yeah. I've been through this.
Ninajua kupoteza mama. Mimi kwanza mimi lile nilipitia. Haujui. So it's
if
good.
You're invited,
yeah,
you can share your experience. If you're not invited,
don't.
Just be present.
Breaking of bad news. For example, I don't know how to break bad news. But those who want, just come and tell me. Your son has been shot dead along the streets of Nairobi. He's no longer there.
Yeah.
But those who would want, you go through pole until you get to the point of what exactly happened. Where are you? Are you standing? Are you standing? Please sit. Okay, sit. Have you sat down? Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Like, which is the best way to break bad news?
Okay. Yeah, bad news. What I would suggest, or what happens, is it's important, like I said, to be very present with a person who's just lost something or someone. Yeah, so inviting them to come where you are, or you going where they are, is the best first step to take.
Yeah,
I've found that sometimes in our country the police handle it very well. If your loved one maybe was in an accident, they'll just tell you, come to this hospital, you know. So once you're there physically is when now the news is broken. But breaking it over the phone can be very devastating. Yeah, so it's important to ensure that the person first of all has someone next to them. If possible, go to them. If possible, ask them to come to you, or ensure someone else is with them before you begin that conversation. Yeah, then as sounds funny, but yeah, it's good for them to be seated, so that just in case they are hit by a physical shock and end up fainting, they don't get a form of injury. But also don't go round in circles, because you know, when you start saying, are you seated? Have you eaten?
Where are you? Uko na nani?
Hiyo inaleta anxiety, inaanza kubuild. Ni nini Anunda? Yeah, so conversations are not the best thing to happen. The most important thing to happen is ensure someone is with them, and then go straight to the point.
Ensure someone is with them. Go straight to the point. Okay, right. Know how to break bad news. And
just know that there's no other way out of bad news. It will definitely have an impact. So you see,
in one way or
another. So when we try to prolong it,
just tell me.
So that it will still have impact. So just know impact will be there. That's why we're saying support is important, because whatever kind of impact you hit, as long as you have support, it helps you to absorb.
Okay.
So usifikirie ati ukianza story refu mtu hata sikia vibaya sana. Lazima atasikia vibaya.
Okay. It's true. Now, as we continue, we'd like to talk about these people who rush to social media. You rush to social. You rush to social. Yeah. Unasikia tu so and so. Anunda sijui ndo huyo pap. Social media, Instagram. You don't even know whether the family is aware of this. Please, one word to those kemenyis. You start crying on social media. Oh, my uncle. And the last time you even talked to this uncle, it was 19 go down. You didn't even have a relationship with this person, but you're so fast in breaking news on social media. What is the protocol? The best protocol to follow? before we take a short musical break?
Okay. Just to reiterate that the best protocol is to ensure that the people who are maybe the most directly connected to the deceased, they know about it before you go and send the post. But I also know that at times people will do it because they are in a state of shock themselves. Even if it's a long distance or someone you're not very close with, as long as something has come to an end, it will have an impact. So sometimes even that posting ni kushtuka, then someone just gets irrational and they rush there. But repeating it here, it's been said elsewhere that it's very important to give the bereaved family some time, some space. Hata ukisikia sahi, give it 2 hours. Uone. Do they know? Have they been informed before you go?
Is it even true?
Is it even true? Some people have been killed, isn't
so
it?
Many
Only
times.
for us to realize they are not dead.
They come back home. This is Pearl Radio 96.9 FM, Pearl in the morning. It's a beautiful day the Lord has made. We're talking about grief and growth, honoring loss, healing a nation. In studio with me is Camila Idalia. You need to be a doctor. Are you a doctor?
Think so?
Dr. Camila.
Okay.
Idalia.
Prophecy coming soon.
And if you have any question whatsoever, send them in on 0702969969. When we come back, we'll be talking about various types of grief. Are there types of loss and national grief? What are some of the major causes of grief that you see affecting people in the country today, and especially the times that we're living in right now? And of course, as a nation, are we grieving? Are we all grieving? Is it a section of the nation that is grieving, and another section is, just
going about their business
like nothing has happened? Adding more orders and orders. Camila.
Yes.
What is it that you miss most about the old Kenya?
I miss the security and certainty of just walking on the street without a worry or a care that out of the blues a tear gas canister can be thrown, visiting the CBD and breathing in fresh air, because I find now that even long after the protests, the stench of the tear gas still remains, and it makes me feel like we are getting into a place to be like the countries that we have been seeing on the news, where a bomb can explode anytime. And I'm feeling very sad that I can no longer just walk anyhow, even no wearing heels. I need to be in flats because I may need to run. At any day, anytime.
You have to be ready.
Yes. And now also the certainty of life has reduced. So I hug people more warmly because you never know. Will I see you tomorrow, or are you gonna be
gone? Oh my God. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation. As we're throwing it back, we look at where we've come from, where we are, and thank the Lord for the journey and pray for the future and where we are headed. There is always a restoration because God is God of second chances. The blood that has been spilled is so much, and I don't think God is happy about that. We have to repent as a nation. We have to pray for our leaders and go through the journey of healing. We're talking about grief, and go to the next conversation right here. And what are some of the major causes of grief that you see affecting people in Kenya today?
We are experiencing a lot of changes politically. There's a lot of disappointment. Actually, some people may be regretting their decisions or their actions at the point of the ballot. And some other changes or things that are causing grief will be like the high cost of living. This is something that has hit hard, from rates of school fees going up to basic commodities going up. Other things that are happening even on the social front, there's, aside from these demonstrations, there's been a very concerning thing about the femicide, where we are seeing an increase in the number of women getting killed in relationships. But aside from that, also the murder cases are on the rise. Right now, if you get into a tiff with anyone, you don't know, you could end up dead, Socially also, there's a lot happening in our families. a lot of blended families are coming into place. Because there's a lot of divorce and separation happening. You find that right now when I work with majority of the people in high school, you'll find most of them are coming from families where either parents have, broken up for one reason or another. Another thing that is happening in our headlines, I had you going through the different papers. Every other day we are seeing photos of young people, innocent people who have died. Yeah, so there are quite a number of things happening, from financial to political to social, that are signifying that we are losing on many fronts. We are either experiencing the end of things, or disruption, or some form of disappointment.
Okay. Let's briefly talk about the manifestation of grief.
Yeah.
How can someone tell that they're grieving, especially if it's not through tears? Unajua kama sisi wanaume tunalianga kwenda ndani. Machozi na mwagika huko ndani.
Inwards. Hey, okay, very serious.
How do you know that someone is grieving?
That someone is grieving. Many times, aside from tears, there will be anger. Anger is one of the signs that someone is actually grieving. And anger can manifest in a couple of ways, including someone being very irritable. Sometimes it can be someone having rage or just wanting vengeance. They're out to get back at somebody or something. At times it can be distraction. At times when you're angry, you can destroy things, destroy maybe your body, get into fights and such things. So kiona mtu ako very very defensive and aggressive, could be that they're grieving. Especially umesema wanaume juu hawali, they are the likely candidates to grieve through anger. Yeah, another sign that someone may be grieving is they can get into a state of despair. They just lose interest in a number of things, even their self-image. Mtu alikuwa na vaa smart and everything, unaona amejiachilia. They withdraw or isolate from people, and sometimes they even become very cynical and sarcastic. You've heard of dark humor?
Yeah.
You see people really posting very dark jokes. Yeah, that could be someone who might be grieving.
Okay.
Another sign of grief that may not be very obvious is people avoid conversations. They avoid feelings. Some leaders have been said to be very quiet and refusing to address certain things. That could be a sign that they're grieving. They grieve through denial, avoiding. I'm not having that conversation. I'm not approaching a certain person. Yeah, and another sign would be something we call bargaining in the psychological field. Where someone has a back and forth. Umeachana na mtu tena unasema ama nirudi alafu niokoke tuone kama hii relationship itawaka.
Lazima iwaka.
So there are four main signs.
Okay.
The despair, anger, then the avoidance, and then finally the bargaining, the back and forth.
Is there a right way to grieve? Or anyone can grieve? It's okay, you just grieve however you want to grieve, as long as you're grieving.
Okay, there's grief and there's grieving, right? Yeah, so grieving really is an action, and you cannot decide how you will react. Yeah, for you, as you say, one person might use anger, another one might use tears. It's okay, but what is important is after the grief, how do you process it? Because we get stuck when we are just having all these emotions and we don't know what to do with them. Yeah, so that's where information becomes very important, because grieving is actually a skill that you can learn and perfect. Yeah, because we cannot escape loss. We cannot escape loss, meaning we will have to grieve at some point. But if you don't grieve appropriately, it might lead to other complications.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is appropriate grieving?
Now, appropriate grieving is where you actually acknowledge that, what, I've lost something. Yeah. Either I'm disappointed, that's a loss, or something has come to an end, or there's a change. So you acknowledge, and then you also allow yourself to feel the emotions that are in your heart. If you feel like you want to shout, do it. If you want to cry, do it. If you want to complain, do it. Yes. And then now get some support and information on other things you can do to resolve yourself back to normalcy, because grief is a very unusual experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So taking steps. You need to be very proactive. Just like if you have an injury, you won't sit there looking at it. You'll need to get some attention.
True.
Appropriate attention. Yeah.
A step at a time. So where is God in our grief, and how does faith help during, loss? Those say, God, Lord, you have forsaken me. Where? How did you allow this to happen? How did you allow me to lose a job? You're not there. How does faith help in this?
Yeah, faith comes in grief a lot, because two things can happen. Grief can cause you to draw closer to God, where you realize, I have all these questions. The doctors don't have an answer. The scholars don't have an answer. Even the pastor doesn't have an answer.
Yeah.
And you realize the only person who can fully satisfy your questions and your gap becomes God. So you can draw closer to God in terms of grief, and find that peace that surpasses human understanding.
Yeah.
Where you see people have come out of a war and they're able to forgive their aggressors. How does that happen? Through your spirituality. But grief is also risky, because sometimes grief is what causes people to fall away from the faith. They get angry with God and draw away from Him. But you know what? The Bible talks about grief in very many instances, and one of the instances is in Ecclesiastes, where we are prepared that there will be a time to weep,
A time to
and a time to dance. There will be a time to break down, and a time to build up.
Yeah.
So we are actually guaranteed that grief is coming. But it also gives us the assurance in Corinthians, where it says that God comforts us in all our losses, in all our grief. He's able.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. As we wind up, because of time, if someone is listening to you right now, or there's someone listening to you right now, but probably there's someone who's grieving, lost someone, grieving silently. What would you want them to know? What is one thing you want this person to know and do today in order for them to begin healing?
The thing I want them to know is that grief can heal. It's not a lifelong injury. It can heal. It's not easy. I actually find it is the hardest or most painful injury is grief, but it can heal. So if you're listening, whether your grief is from death, or from a breakup, or from disappointment, or from you've moved to a new country and you're feeling very lonely and homesick, and you're wondering, I got a new opportunity, why am I sad? It's okay. First of all, it's very normal that you feel what you feel. And number two, it does not have to be for the rest of your life. You can heal. So support is very important in grief. And I would say you can seek social support from the people who get your grief, who are not judging you or invalidating. Secondly, you can definitely come for therapy at Endeleo, and we can give you the information and the skills that you need for this. Because you need two things. You need social support, and you need insight for you to get through. But you can get through. That's what I want you to know. Acknowledge, and you can get through.
All right. Acknowledge, and you can get through. So to everyone that is mourning or grieving right now, and even the nation is grieving, there is light at the end of the tunnel. God is always faithful to take us through the journey of grieving and loss, because He's a restorer. Parting shot.
Whoa. Parting shot is that grief can be personal. Grief can also be collective. At this time in our country, I'm sure people are facing individual losses, but also as a country, we are facing a collective loss. So my parting shot would be, don't do it alone. Do it with others. It's easier, more bearable when you have some support. And it's very normal to feel what you feel. So don't fight it. Acknowledge it. The sooner you acknowledge, the sooner the healing comes. So grief can heal, and out of grief, a lot of growth can happen. Spiritual, financial, social, a lot of good can come out of it. So while it's intense, look forward to the opposite good side of it.
There is growth. You can grow. Unaweza comfort mwingine later.
Na unaweza anzisha initiatives kama Red Cross ilianza out of grief,
Wow.
Man Enough program, you've heard about it?
Yes.
Came out of grief. Yes. So a lot of good can come out of grief. Even love and forgiveness can come out of grief. Yeah. So this is Camila Idalia signing out from Endeleo. You can reach out to us if you need support with any kind of grief or loss that you may be experiencing.
All right.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.